A year ago, I was a software architect. My biggest problem was what movie to watch. Tonight, I'm with 15 Navy SEALs, heading into a Mexican jungle for the kind of payback that scorches the earth. The hum of the C-130's engines has been a constant drone for the last 8 hours, a monotonous lullaby of impending violence. It's a sound I've come to associate with the end of one life and the beginning of another. My old life, the one with white picket fences and Saturday morning cartoons, burned to the ground a year ago today. This new one, the one that lives and breathes in the belly of this military transport, smells of jet fuel, gun oil, and cold, hard resolve. I look across the dimly lit cargo bay, my eyes tracing the silhouettes of the 15 men sitting with me. They are ghosts, shadows clad in combat gear, their faces stoic, unreadable. These aren't soldiers for hire. They aren't mercenaries. They are Navy SEALs. The best of the best, operating so far off the books, they might as well be on another planet. And they work for me. Or rather, they work with me, a fine distinction their commander, a man they call Reaper, made very clear. How does a man like me, a software architect who used to design data compression algorithms, get a private audience with 15 of the most dangerous men on the planet? The answer is twofold. First, I sold my company, every patent, every line of code I'd ever written, for an obscene amount of money, enough to make a king blush. Second, one of those patents, a revolutionary piece of drone surveillance tech, once saved Reaper's entire team from a catastrophic ambush in some godforsaken corner of the world. I didn't know it at the time, but the call came a year ago. Reaper, his voice gravelly over a secure line, said simply, "You saved my boys. The debt is ours. Name it." I told him I wasn't ready. Now, I am. A year ago, I had everything. A wife, Elena, whose laugh could genuinely make flowers bloom. A daughter, 7-year-old Sophia, who had her mother's laugh and my stubborn curiosity. We had a beautiful home in a quiet, coastal California town, the kind of place people move to when they've made it. Our biggest problem was what movie to watch on a Friday night. Then, he moved in next door. Ricardo, El Escorpión, Vargas, the Scorpion. At first we knew nothing. He was just a wealthy businessman with quiet staff and blacked-out SUVs. But then came the late-night visitors, the hushed, angry conversations in Spanish I'd overhear while watering my lawn. I did what any good citizen would do. I made a few calls. Anonymously, I thought. I reported suspicious activity. I thought the system would handle it. I was so naive. The system, it turned out, was on his payroll. The local sheriff, the city councilman, all of them were his. My anonymous tip went straight to his desk. The lesson was delivered personally. I was working late one night, a product launch. I came home to find the front door slightly ajar. My heart hammered against my ribs, a primal drumbeat of pure dread. Inside, the house was silent. Too silent. In the living room, El Escorpión was sitting in my armchair, sipping my best scotch. 2 of his thugs stood by the fireplace. He smiled, a cold, reptilian thing. "You should have been a better neighbor," he said, his voice a low hiss. "A man's home is his castle. You tried to invite snakes into mine, so I have shown you what a real snake can do." He made me watch the security footage from earlier that evening. He made me watch as his men dragged Elena and Sophia from the house. He made me listen to their screams, to Sophia crying my name. Papi. Papi. A sound that has echoed in my skull every second of every day since. Then he stood up, wiped the rim of the glass with a silk handkerchief, and walked out. The police report would say it was a home invasion gone wrong. A robbery. They listed my wife and daughter as missing, presumed victims of a kidnapping. But I knew. It wasn't a kidnapping. It was an erasure. He hadn't taken them for ransom. He had taken them to break me, to show me what happens when you poke the scorpion. For a year I've been a ghost myself. I died that night with them. The man who remained was something else, a hollowed-out vessel filled with nothing but cold, calculating rage. I liquidated my assets, disappeared from my old life, and used my tech skills to hunt him. I traced his empire of filth across the globe, mapping his network, his finances, his safe houses. And I found it. His fortress. A sprawling hacienda deep in the Mexican jungle. A place where he feels untouchable, where he keeps the things he values most. That's where I'm going. Not to kill him. That would be too easy. I'm going to do what he did to me. I'm going to take everything. The red light above the ramp flashes on, bathing the cabin in a hellish glow. The seals stir, a synchronized movement of lethal purpose. They perform their final checks, the quiet clicks and snaps of gear, a prelude to the symphony of destruction to come. Reaper catches my eye from across the bay. He gives me a short, sharp nod. The question is clear in his eyes. Are you ready for this? I grip the cold steel of the rifle in my hands, a weapon I've trained with until it feels like an extension of my own arm. I am not the man who lost his family. I am the consequence. 5 minutes, the loadmaster yells over the roar of the engines. One of the SEALs, a tech specialist nicknamed Oracle, has been staring intently at a ruggedized tablet connected to my drone network. We have a stealth drone loitering at 40,000 feet above the target, feeding us real-time intelligence. Suddenly his eyes go wide. He holds up a hand, silencing the pre-jump chatter. Boss! Reaper! You need to see this, he says, his voice tight. Reaper and I are at his side in a second. Oracle points to his screen. We've been piggybacking their comms network. Just intercepted an internal audio file from the main compound. It was recorded less than an hour ago. It's designated as proof of life for a different transaction, but the asset is on site. He taps the screen. The audio file plays, tinny and distorted through the small speaker, but the sound cuts through the engine noise and straight into the hollow space where my heart used to be. It's a little girl, crying, and then a single, desperate word. Puppy. The sound stops, but the word hangs in the air, an echo that rips through the last year of scar tissue and exposes the raw, gaping wound beneath. Puppy. My daughter's voice. My Sophia. The drone of the C-130 fades away. The scent of gun oil vanishes. The cold weight of the rifle in my hands is gone. For one crystalline, agonizing second, I am back in our living room, and she is calling for me from her bedroom, asking for one more story. A hand clamps down on my shoulder. Hard. It's Reaper. His grip is like iron, grounding me, pulling me back from the abyss. Breathe, he commands, his voice a low growl that cuts through my paralysis. Oracle, where did that come from? Give me a location, now. Triangulating, Oracle says, his fingers flying across the tablet screen. Signal originated from the north wing of the main villa, second floor, but it's bouncing off their internal mesh. I can't pinpoint the exact room from up here. We'll need to be on the ground. Reaper's eyes, cold and dark as a winter sea, lock onto mine. The mission has changed, he says, his voice devoid of any emotion except absolute authority. This is no longer a decapitation strike. This is a rescue. Objective 1 is the girl. We get her and we get out. Everything else, Vargas, his data, his money, is secondary. Do you understand? I can only nod, my throat tight. Hope is a more painful poison than rage. Rage is clean, simple. Hope makes you reckless. It makes you weak. I need you focused, Reaper continues, his grip tightening for a fraction of a second. That man down there took your family to break you. If you go in there blind with anger, he wins. You become a liability, and you get your daughter killed. You follow my lead. You follow my orders. You are a tool, and I am pointing you at the target. Nothing more. Can you do that? The man I was a year ago couldn't. He would have screamed, cried, begged. But that man is dead. I look at Reaper, at the 15 ghosts waiting for his command, and I find the core of ice that has kept me going. Yes, I manage to say, my own voice sounding foreign to me. Point me. He holds my gaze for another moment, searching for any crack in my resolve. Satisfied, he lets go and turns to his men. Weapons free on hostiles posing an immediate threat to the asset. Otherwise, this is a ghost run. Minimum casualties, minimum noise. We get in, we grab the package, we get to the exfil point. Oracle, You're on my 6. You find me that room the second we're inside the wire. The ramp at the back of the plane begins to lower with a hydraulic hiss, revealing a black, star-speckled sky. The wind whips into the cargo bay, a physical shock of cold air. My daughter is down there, alive. The thought is a drumbeat, a mantra. Alive, alive, alive. Go! We move as one, a torrent of dark shapes pouring out into the night. The fall is a violent chaos of roaring wind. I pull the cord. The jolt of the parachute opening feels like being snatched from the jaws of death. Then silence. A profound ringing quiet as I float beneath the silken canopy. Below me the jungle is an endless, inky black ocean, and in the middle of it, a spiderweb of lights. The hacienda. His kingdom. I can see the main villa, the guest houses, the barracks for his private army. My eyes scan the north wing, the second floor, searching for a single lit window, a sign, anything. But there's nothing. Just an imposing, dark facade. We land scattered in a pre-designated zone, a half-click from the compound's perimeter, our parachutes collapsing into the thick undergrowth. It takes less than 2 minutes for the team to regroup. A series of clicks on their comms, the only sound in the humid night. We are shadows among shadows. The seals move with an unnatural grace, their steps silent on the damp earth. I feel clumsy, loud, a bull in their ghost-like ballet of death. We reach the perimeter fence, a 10-foot-high chain-link barrier topped with concertina wire. 2 of the seals produce cutters that snip through the metal with a barely audible crunch. We slip through the gap and are now in enemy territory. Every rustle of a leaf, every chirp of an insect, sounds like an alarm bell in my head. We make our way to a small rocky outcrop that provides cover, and a clear line of sight to the villa. It's our final staging point. While the rest of the team sets up a security perimeter, Oracle unslings his pack, pulling out his tablet and a small directional antenna. He gets to work, his face illuminated by the faint glow of the screen as he hunts for a way into their closed-circuit television network. Vargas is arrogant, I whisper to Reaper, my eyes glued to the villa. His security is for keeping people in, not for stopping a force from getting out. Arrogance gets a lot of men killed, Reaper replies, not taking his eyes off the target. An eternity passes in the space of 3 minutes. Then, Oracle makes a soft hissing sound. I'm in, he breathes. Got a back door into their security server. Accessing camera feeds now. He starts cycling through views. The main gate, the motor pool, hallways, a kitchen. All empty, patrolled by the occasional armed guard. Come on, I mutter, my knuckles white on my rifle. North wing, second floor. Working on it, Oracle says. There, got it. Camera 27, sitting room. He turns the tablet towards me and Reaper. The image is grainy, infrared. It shows a lavishly decorated room, a large sofa, a fireplace. My breath catches in my throat. On the sofa, curled up with a stuffed bear I don't recognize, is a small child. It's her. It's Sophia. She's thinner, her hair longer, but it's her. Alive. A wave of relief so powerful it almost brings me to my knees, washes over me. Then a man walks into the frame. El Escorpión. He's holding 2 glasses. He hands one to someone sitting in a high-backed chair, turned away from the camera. The chair swivels slowly. A woman takes the glass. She looks gaunt, her eyes hollowed out. But I would know her anywhere. I would know her in the deepest pits of hell. It's Elena. My wife. She takes a sip from the glass, her movements slow, listless. She glances toward the camera, her expression not one of terror, not one of defiance, but of something far, far worse. It's an expression of pure, soul-crushing emptiness. Vargas puts a hand on her shoulder, leaning in to whisper something in her ear, and a faint, horrifyingly genuine smile touches her lips. The image on the tablet shatters my world for the second time. The relief that had flooded my veins turns to ice. That smile on Elena's face. It's not forced. It's not the coerced expression of a captive. It's comfortable, resigned, familiar. It's the kind of smile she used to give me when I'd say something foolish. My mind reels, refusing to process what my eyes are seeing. This isn't a prison. It's a living room. And my wife is sitting there, sharing a drink with the monster who destroyed our lives. "What the hell is this?" Reaper's voice is a razor-sharp whisper next to my ear. He's not looking at me. He's staring at the tablet, his analytical mind dissecting the scene, stripping it of all emotion. "Is that your wife?" "Yes." The word is a shard of glass in my throat. I can't breathe. My carefully constructed facade of cold resolve is cracking, splintering under the weight of this new, incomprehensible reality. The narrative I had built over the last year, the grieving husband, the avenging angel, is turning to dust. What is this? Some sick form of Stockholm Syndrome, or something worse? "Oracle, can you get audio?" Reaper asks, his tone all business. "Negative," Oracle replies, his fingers dancing on the screen. Audio is on a separate hardline system. No wireless signal to piggyback, but I'm mapping the camera network. I can guide you through the blind spots. There's a service entrance on the east side, leads to the kitchens. Minimal guard presence. From there, we can take the staff stairwell up to the second floor. Reaper processes the information in an instant. Alpha Team, with me. Breach the service entrance on my mark. Bravo Team, overwatch. Anything that isn't us moves, you put it down. You, he says, pointing a finger at me. You're on my hip. You do exactly as I say. No deviations. Your wife's status is unknown. She could be a hostage. She could be turned. Until we know, she is a non-combatant, but she's not an ally. Is that clear? I nod dumbly, my eyes still fixed on the screen. Elena leans her head back against the chair. Vargas laughs at something she says, his hand lingering on her shoulder. The casual intimacy of the gesture is a physical blow. It's wrong. All of this is wrong. Sophia stirs on the sofa, and Elena glances over, her expression softening. She gets up, walks to the sofa, and gently pulls a blanket over our daughter. My daughter. Our daughter. The woman I'm watching, the one tucking in our child under the watchful eye of a killer, is she still my wife? Move, Reaper orders. The word galvanizes the team. We melt back into the jungle, circling around to the east side of the villa. The sounds of the jungle, the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, do nothing to ground me. I'm adrift in a sea of betrayal and confusion. My mission was simple. Rescue my daughter. Avenge my wife. But what do you do when the woman you came to avenge is seemingly living a quiet life with her captor? We reach the service entrance, a single steel door tucked away in an alcove. Two of Reaper's men, Breach and Ghost, move forward. Breach places a small charge on the lock while Ghost uses a fiber-optic scope to peer under the door. He gives a thumbs up. Clear. Reaper gives the signal. There's a soft muffled pop, and the door swings inward. We pour into the building, a silent, deadly river of black-clad operators. We're in a pristine, stainless steel kitchen. It's empty. The air smells of garlic and roasting meat. On a counter, a half-eaten plate of food sits next to a child's sippy cup. Sophia's. The domesticity of the scene is surreal, clashing violently with the high-tech weaponry and grim purpose of the men surrounding me. We move through the kitchen and into a narrow corridor leading to the staff stairwell. Oracle is whispering coordinates and directions into our earpieces. Two hostiles, bottom of the stairs, stationary. Reaper holds up a hand, and the team freezes. He gestures to two of his men, who glide forward, their suppressed pistols drawn. I hear two soft, almost gentle, thumps, like pillows falling on a carpet. Then Reaper's voice in my ear. Clear. Proceed. We ascend the stairs, our boots making no sound on the concrete steps. Every floor, every landing raises the stakes. My heart hammers against my ribs, a frantic prisoner trying to escape its cage. My mind is a maelstrom. Is Elena a victim, broken beyond recognition? Or has she made a choice, a deal with the devil to protect Sophia, or worse, to protect herself? Second floor, Oracle whispers. Hallway is clear. The target room is the third door on your left. Camera 2 to 7 is inside that room. There's another camera in the hallway, 20 feet past the door. You'll have a 7-second window when it pans away. We reach the top of the stairs and stack up against the wall of a long, richly carpeted hallway. It's decorated with expensive art and ornate furniture. This is the heart of the beast's lair. I can feel it. Sophia and Elena are just feet away. "Wait for my signal," Reaper murmurs. We wait in absolute silence, a tableau of coiled violence. The seconds stretch into an eternity. I can hear the blood pounding in my ears. I adjust my grip on my rifle, the cool metal a comfort against my sweaty palms. "Now," Reaper breathes. We move. We are a fluid shadow, flowing down the hallway, covering the distance to the door in a heartbeat. I'm right behind Reaper. He reaches the door, his hand resting on the knob. He looks back at me, one final questioning glance. "Are you ready?" I give him a sharp, determined nod. This is it. All the pain, all the planning, all the rage of the past year has led to this single moment, this one door. Reaper turns the knob. It's unlocked. He pushes the door open just a crack, peering inside. Then he freezes. His body goes completely rigid. I see the muscles in his jaw clench. He slowly pulls back from the door, his eyes wide with something I've never seen in them before. Shock. Utter, profound shock. He looks at me, and his lips form a single, silent word. Trap. Before I can process it, before I can ask what he saw, the floor beneath my feet vanishes. A trapdoor. I'm falling. My rifle flies from my grasp as I flail in the sudden, stomach-lurching darkness. I land hard on a sloped surface, a metal slide that sends me careening downwards into a deeper blackness. I come to a jarring halt in a small, pitch-black room. A heavy metal door slams shut above me, plunging me into absolute darkness and a silence broken only by my own ragged breathing. Then a single spotlight snaps on, blinding me. It's focused on a chair in the center of the room. Sitting in that chair, a cold, predatory smile playing on his lips, is El Escorpión. "Welcome," he says, his voice dripping with amusement. "Elena told me you would come." The world narrows to the spotlight, to the man sitting in its glare. My mind, which had been a chaotic storm of questions moments ago, becomes icily calm. The confusion evaporates, replaced by a pure, diamond-hard certainty. Elena. She didn't just surrender. She joined him. She became the bait. My wife, the woman I mourned, the woman I was willing to burn the world down for, had handed me to my enemy. The betrayal is a physical thing, a cold blade twisting in my gut. "She's a remarkable woman," Vargas continues, savoring my stunned silence. He gestures to a monitor I hadn't noticed in the darkness. It flickers to life, showing the hallway upstairs. Reaper and his team are gone. Vanished. "Don't worry about your friends. We have other accommodations for them. Special forces are so predictable. Always the silent entry, the quiet takedown. I find it so much more effective to simply open the door you want them to come through." He stands and walks out of the spotlight, becoming a silhouette. "You took so much from me, you know. Not just money. My anonymity. My peace. You made me conspicuous. And for that, there is a price." Elena understood that. She understood that survival is about adaptation. "You," he says, his voice laced with contempt, "you are still just a foolish man trying to punch a god." Another light switches on, illuminating a section of the wall. My blood runs cold. It's a glass pane. Beyond it is a room. A small, sterile room. And inside, strapped to a medical chair with an IV in her arm, is Sophia. She's asleep, her small chest rising and falling rhythmically. Her stuffed bear is on the floor beside her. "She is fine," Vargas says, noticing the direction of my gaze. "A mild sedative. I am a monster, yes, but not a barbarian. The plan was quite simple. You see, your drone technology, the one your government friends use, its encryption is a masterpiece. My associates in certain foreign governments would pay a fortune for the master keys, a price that makes your entire net worth look like pocket change. Elena was kind enough to inform me that you are the only one who has them, and you are a very sentimental man." He steps back into the light. In his hand is a small remote with a single red button. This button controls the drip into your daughter's IV. Right now it is a simple saline solution, but with one press it will deliver a cocktail of chemicals so potent, so fast-acting. Her heart will simply stop. No pain. She will just sleep forever. So, you will give me the encryption keys. You will transfer everything to me. And in return for your wife's loyalty and your cooperation, I will let you and your daughter go. You have my word. His word. The word of a scorpion. Rage, cold, and absolute floods my senses. I look at Sophia, my beautiful, innocent daughter, used as a bargaining chip. And I look at the man who did this, the man my wife chose over us. In that moment, something inside me, the last vestige of the man who designed algorithms, dies forever. Okay, I say, my voice steady. You win. Vargas smiles, a victor's smile. I always do. The tablet is on the table beside you. I turn and see it. A high-spec military-grade tablet connected to a satellite uplink. I pick it up. My fingers feel clumsy, numb. I begin the process, my mind working on pure instinct. I access my hidden servers, navigating firewalls and security protocols that were once my pride and joy. I can feel Vargas's eyes on me, his smug satisfaction a palpable force in the room. There's a fail-safe, I say, not looking up from the screen, a dead man's switch. If my biometric signature isn't entered every 60 seconds, it wipes everything. So you'll have to stay close. Clever, Vargas purrs, stepping nearer. But not clever enough. I keep typing, my fingers flying across the virtual keyboard. I can feel his presence just behind me, his breath on my neck. He's so close, so confident. He thinks he has me, he thinks he's won. He doesn't know that for the past year, I haven't just been training with a rifle. I've been training for this exact moment. Almost there, I murmur. Just have to decrypt the final layer. And that's when I move. It's not a thought. It's an explosion of pure, focused violence. I pivot on my heel, the heavy tablet swinging in a vicious arc, smashing into the side of Vargas's head with a sickening crunch. He stumbles back, stunned, a look of pure shock on his face. He never saw it coming. I don't give him a second to recover. I lunge forward, grabbing the hand that holds the remote, and slam it down onto the edge of the table. Bones snap. He screams a raw, guttural sound of agony, and the remote clatters to the floor. But I'm not done. My rage is a white-hot inferno. I drive my knee into his stomach, then bring my elbow down on the back of his neck. He collapses. I'm on top of him in an instant, my hands closing around his throat. His eyes are wide with terror and disbelief. The god is bleeding. The god is choking. This is for Elena, I snarl, my thumbs digging into his windpipe. The one you killed. I tighten my grip. And this is for Sophia. His face turns purple, his legs thrashing uselessly. He is nothing. A bully. A snake. And I am the man who has come to crush his head. Just as his struggles weaken, a voice cuts through my rage, tinny and distorted, but clear. Boss, we're clear. It's Reaper's voice, coming from a small concealed earpiece I'm wearing. The fail-safe I mentioned to Vargas wasn't for my servers. It was for them. The tablet wasn't just a tablet. It was the command console for my drone. The entire time I was decrypting, I was actually disabling the compound's internal comms, overriding their electronic locks and feeding Reaper's team a real-time schematic of this entire sub-level prison. The trap wasn't for me. It was for him. I release my grip on Vargas's throat. He falls to the floor, gasping and choking. A moment later, the metal door to the room slides open. Reaper stands there, flanked by his men. He gives a curt nod. "Package is secure," he says. "We found your wife. She put up a fight." He doesn't elaborate. He doesn't need to. I walk over to the glass pane and look at my sleeping daughter. Another one of the SEALs is already inside, carefully removing the IV from her arm. He lifts her gently, wrapping her in a tactical blanket. She's safe. It's over. As we make our way out through the chaos of the now secured compound, I don't look back. I don't need to see what happens to Vargas or to Elena. They are ghosts now, remnants of a life that no longer exists. Reaper walks beside me as I take Sophia from the medic, holding her sleeping form in my arms for the first time in a year. She feels so small, so fragile. The debt is paid, Reaper says quietly. I look at him, at the faces of the men who walked into hell with me. Not yet, I say. I transfer the final set of codes on my own phone. Vargas was right. His associates will pay a fortune for his network. His shipping routes, his contacts, his bank accounts. I just made them all an anonymous offer. The winning bid will be deposited into a trust. For the families of fallen operators. A flicker of something respect, perhaps, crosses Reaper's stoic face. He just nods. As we ascend in the extraction chopper, banking over the dark jungle, Sophia stirs in my arms. Her eyes flutter open, hazy and confused from the sedative. She looks up at me, her brow furrowed for a moment as she tries to place my face. Then recognition dawns. A slow, sleepy smile spreads across her lips. "Papi," she whispers, her small hand reaching up to touch my cheek. "You came." I pull her closer, burying my face in her hair, the roar of the helicopter blades washing over us. He took everything from me. My home, my wife, my life. But he was wrong. He didn't understand. The only thing that ever truly mattered was right here, safe in my arms. And tomorrow, for the first time in a long, long year, we were going home.